What's up, everybody? Twice in a row, 2 days in a row of streaming. My goodness gracious. My goodness gracious. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty chill stream. Not going to be probably a whole lot of talking because I am going to be researching. That is kind of my thing. I am trying to research and go down different avenues of approach and just expanding my knowledge on my artwork as any artist should do. I'm not tied to one singular subject line. I am a artist that I like to say I'm a jack of all trades. I want to learn pretty much anything and everything that interests me, right? Like, I'm not going to be deadlocked like, oh, this interests me, but because I do this, I'm not going to learn that. I don't do that. I actually am like, if I'm interested in something, I'm just going to go ahead and learn it. So, but yeah, it's going to be pretty chill. We're going to be putting on some Panda Beats. Here we go. Panda Beats on YouTube. They are a no copyright Twitch and kick music safe, stream safe music. Go ahead and make sure you like, comment, subscribe on that. It's really awesome to have artists just let you use their music for whatever purposes that you need to use it for. All that they care about is that you're doing exactly what I'm doing, which is mentioning them and providing people a way to find them. And, you know, there you go. We all like to help each other out. So let's go ahead and get that rocking. And that should be pretty decent volume. I like to try and stay around negative 30, negative 35. We might boost up just a scotch. Right there. That's probably pretty good. Yeah, 30 to 25. That seems to be all right. Just because, again, I'm not going to be talking probably a whole lot. But yeah, Digimon. So yeah, I'm just going to be like learning. Essentially, I want to create my own custom digi-evolution line. I have an idea of where I want to go with it, but Digimon, in my personal opinion, are so much more difficult and complex creatures, especially going from even rookie to champion. That's pretty intense. They definitely require much more thought process, especially if you bring human anatomy into it. And so as far as like the first digi-evolution, I think I'm going to do more of a dinosaur, dragon, something pretty traditional, right? That everybody enjoys. Everyone loves dragon like Digimon or dinosaur like Digimon. So I'm going to draw inspiration from the Dramon, which I think is dragon monster, digital evolution lines. Like you got Machine Dramon, Sea Dramon, I don't think Tyrannomon fits in that because it's not a Dramon. So anything that has Dramon, that's kind of where I'm going with V Dramon and Imperial Dramon. Just the dragonish type things. But we're going to try this out. I don't know how successful I'm going to be with it, but yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. There's a lot to do. Luckily, the first few evolution lines are going to be pretty simple. You know, I'm going to draw the digi-egg, and from there I'm going to then you know, make the baby and then the rookie, or no, it'd be baby in training, rookie. That's kind of what I want to definitely get to today. I don't know how much I'm going to get to, but we're going to just name this Digi. Let's see, do custom Digi 1 postcard. I think, yeah, we could do vertical. I was just thinking if vertical was the way to go with this or not. But as far as like where to start, obviously we want to create the digi-egg, right? So the digi-egg is going to be the first thing. Now, I remember in Digimon where the digi-eggs like actually transform the rookies into champion levels, so it's not going to be those type of eggs. But I'm going to show you, of course, anything that I look up and research. Now, I will disclaim this because if I am showing it to the public, then I obviously need to make sure that I disclaim this. Any and all art that is attributed to Digimon is not mine. I do not own the IP. I don't own any of the artwork or anything like that. Everything that I will be presenting to you will be for Creative Commons purposes only and for educational purposes only. I'm not going to be redistributing anything and trying to make a profit from it. It is just learning experience. So that's where we are at with that. So as far as what does a digi-egg look like, I mean, it's pretty much an egg that has just some designs on it, really. I think this right here, let's go ahead and print screen this. I mean, that, yeah, really, it's pretty much an Easter egg. just make an Easter egg. So let's go ahead and file, import, image, go to pictures, screenshots, and it should be this one right here. Yeah, so this is essentially digi-eggs. Again, it's like just come up with an Easter egg, right? How we color Easter eggs and stuff. And as far as the egg is concerned, as far as general construction, it looks like what they do, if we're going to learn everything, right? So let's first find out what kind of like line art we're using here. I don't know if these are official digi-eggs, by the way. I don't know. But they seem to follow suit. That's a little thick, so it looks like maybe we're working with a line size 2. Okay, so working with a line size 2. And it looks like we're using soft airbrush techniques. That's pretty simple. Just a spherical thing. We have a base color here. Then we have, it looks like a multiply layer, actually, because if we see this transition here, like, so we have this color here, but then it turns into a whole new color here, but it's all in one swoop. So that's something to note for research. So it looks like they are using a multiply layer shading, and they're clearly using a blue shader for that. And then of course the shine spot, pretty simple, it's white, and then they just make a little blurb there. And then they have a bounce light that follows the curve, as we see here, this small shine bounce light, which is very if you haven't watched my how to turn 2-dimensional shapes into 3-dimensional shapes, I teach you this. So I teach you how to do this. So this is pretty simple stuff. It looks like it's pretty precise though. And what I mean by precision is like there is a clear defined shade line that this follows up to, like this. And there's nothing outside of that line. That should be pretty simple to do. All right, so if that's what's going on here, thank you, dear. Wife reveal. Now, there she goes. There she goes. There she goes again. Yeah, so I'm pretty satisfied with this. I'm gonna try something out like that real quick and just verify that I can get the shading down, because I'm not gonna be too concerned with the base color at this point in time in doing designs. So if we're gonna follow this kind of idea, because I think that's a fantastic idea. Of course, we can see this a little bit better with just the plain Jane. See where there is a clear indication of a shade line here, and nothing really goes outside of that line. And then the bounce light here. So the highlight that strips itself all the way around. And this is definitely a multiply layer, because in order to get this brown color, we have to use a multiply layer. I would be curious to know if they're using a grayscale or an actual color for this. This is obviously grayscale, 100%. This is not, there's no color involved here at all. And then this is actually a grayscale. You want to know how I can tell it's a grayscale? Because this red right here, this band of red that was inside the multiply layer, is starting to turn black. There is gray found in that red. And so they used a black multiplying layer and went over top of it. So that might be the case, but this, see now, but you can tell here that this is blue. So I would say that they changed that color. Again, I'm assuming that this is official artwork too, by the way. That's how they do it. Okay. I get it. So first is drawing the egg shape, which trying to figure out the egg. We could draw a straight line today. That'd be cool. That's fine. That'll work. And of course, we'd have symmetry tool. We'd have the symmetry tool on. So this would be kind of a whatever. It looks like the largest portion is like down there. And then it just... Let's see here. It doesn't feel too bad. It's just a little ovular. Yeah, that's kind of how that's feeling. Oops. Sometimes it's good to kind of go and understand and feel the arc. How does the arc feel like? It just kind of felt like that a little bit. And then this arc here. That's how tracing helps you. It helps you feel what that is. Now, granted, that is if you're freehanding it, right? Like, but yeah, that's pretty close to the egg shape. But we'll get more exact as we use tools and stuff. So, all right, I get the general idea of how to do this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this actually to a I'm gonna just call it research digi. And by the way, this is what you should be doing. If you want to learn how to do a style, you need to be able to dissect these things. DG Research 1. And we're just going to file import that over here. So we can just go ahead and bounce back and forth as we need to. Put these up there since this is our first line of our research. Good stuff. Put that layer 1 up there. That's good there. Go ahead and delete this layer. We can probably keep that up a little bit. I don't know. Make a new layer. There we go. Now, this is where I'm going to start bringing in tools. So we're going to get our symmetry ruler. Make sure we just have a straight line. There we go. Doesn't matter. Because it'll go through the whole canvas, so we don't have to care at all. And then we're just going to kind of butt ourselves up. We're going to make this fairly large, though, comparatively to what we see over here. We're going to move this up, actually. Kind of up and out of the way. But yeah, we just want to kind of... Because when we draw on the symmetry layer, as you see, it'll draw symmetrically. But we have a nice fat bottom. Fat bottom. Let's see here. So if we, because this is essentially the traced egg in some regard. And that should be the approximation of the archway right there. I don't know if using a figure tool at this point in time would be good or not. We can try it real quick. Essentially, we would need an ellipse tool to get that bottom curvature like that. Okay. We need to make the line size a little smaller. We need to go back down to that, like, line size 2. I feel like it might be a perfect circle. It just might be a perfect circle. And then from there, they essentially This is all assumption too, by the way. Used a curve tool and then just went from the apex of the circle, went up to the top. That's pretty darn close, man.
Transferring credits into WGU was it was a great experience. I went to
I don't know if that's going to be
other universities, and WGU just said, here, send it here and we'll take care of it. It was seamless.
Stinking
and I knocked
ads.
out almost 3 years worth of credits, and I did it in about 14 months.
Learn more.
Learn more. Learn more. But if we look, this, we might be able to hand draw this because there's essentially no tip up there per se. It's just a little bit more rounded. So if we take this top portion off, that looks a lot better. Is that close though? What we'll do is we will compare, and what we might do, we might resize it, but obviously the whole idea is to be able to do this ourselves and figure it out, right? But I want to see how close we are. Might have to shrink it down to the size of the egg. I think we're damn close. We're not that far off. Oh man, so the tip of it, what we just learned by doing this, let's see if we can match up these lines a little bit better. Man, I'm so close. I'm so close. But I had the right idea. So we have learned, again, I'm assuming that these are official digi-eggs. Let me verify, is this official? I think they are official. I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna look and see if there's anything else. Yeah, that's pretty official. Yeah, it's just that rounded top essentially is what I'm really after. So that being said, I think we've definitely understood the construction of the egg. It's this tip that needs to be taken off, so it just needs to be a little bit more round. About there, maybe? It's gonna be so freaking like picky on that. It's kind of like that. And this is the fun thing about like when we look into official art, because here's the thing about it, right? You only need to make this shape once, and you now have an asset that you can always use for anything that you want to use it for. As you see here, like this person has designed multiple different eggs. It's the same shape, so we just have to do this once and we'll always have it. So it's always good to take your time over something that's just, you know, this simple. Okay, so if we are going to try and get this right, that's pretty much it there. And then from the apex of that circle, it's just a little, it's just a tiny bit fatter. It's just a tiny, we missed like a sliver. Of course, we would use a symmetrical tool to fix this, but it just needs to be a little bit wider and it would be just fine. So if I'm looking at analyzing this a little bit further, how would we make this tip? Because, you know, using the line tool, right? So if we go here to here, we can get the thickness desired, but as you see how it comes in this aggressively right here, we would need to make a whole separate point to that. I don't know if they used a brazier curve or not. We can check that out real quick. I doubt that they did, but they might have. Let's go ahead and just do this real quick. Oh geez, it's been forever since I've made Bezier curves. Okay, so yeah, they might have used a Bezier curve. I'm just not very familiar with them. Or at least I should say I'm not the best with them. Something like that. Okay, so what we'll do now is put that back up to full opacity. Edit, copy. Well, we might be able to just fix this here. So go ahead and do that. Ellipse circle. And then we're gonna make sure we have our symmetrical line. Whoa! Well. Luckily, it doesn't have to be matched up exactly. We just need to be able to go over this stuff. Right, go back out just a scotch. Whew. Big digi-egg. Nope, not quite. A little closer. There we go. It's fine. We can make it a little bigger. All right. Whew. Okay. So, if we learn what we learned, then we need to make sure that we go a little wider. And of course, this is, you know, and the end all be all of things. This is our own custom, you know, digi-egg, right? That's actually really freaking nice. I like that. I like how that turned out right there. I don't care if it's an exact match. That's a nice egg. Let's go ahead and delete this layer. Yeah, that's solid. I like that a lot. So we're just going to keep that.
Very same. I've always been rather partial to a cheese and pickle myself. Cheese and pickle? Yes. Have you...
Freaking ads, man. Freaking ads. Whew. All right, so now we're going to erase. Just be careful. So this will be the final line art for digi-egg. And like I said, we only ever have to do this once. Only ever have to do this once. I don't know if I erased too much there or not. Let's see. We'll check it out once we get there. Once we zoom out, we'll see if it's actually... I took too much off or need to take more off. Looks like I need to take a little bit more off. I kind of see what's happening there. All right. I mean, that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty darn good egg. So we're going to keep it. And then we're, of course, going to start customizing it, right? So first and foremost, I'm going to create a new folder, actually, for my desktop. And I'm going to put Digimon assets. And this is something, too, that you'll learn as you are creating and learning new styles. And this will be another whole... I mean, I got so many things to teach. Creating your own assets, like, it is so important. I can't stress enough how important it is to create your own assets, so... Because, again, you can come back and use them for whatever you want. And, of course, the more and more and more art that you do, you should be creating more and more assets for yourselves. And so, essentially, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to just copy and paste your own artwork into things and then create artwork at breakneck paces, and people are going to be like, how are you cranking out a brand new piece of art every damn day? Like, it's just like, dude, you have crazy art skills. But yes, you do have crazy art skills, but you are smart and you save all of the things that you plan to use for other projects down the road, and so you don't have to keep redrawing this stuff. You might think it's cheesing it a little bit, you know, but why do that much work? Like, it doesn't make sense. And since I'm just now becoming more of a serious artist, I really don't actually have that many assets, or any assets for that matter. Everything I do is like just completely custom, and you know, the only thing that's good is like I can go back through my older digital art and, you know, copy and paste from that and whatever. But okay, so I got Digimon assets on here. So essentially we have the line art for the egg done. So what we're gonna do I'm just going to delete that because we don't really need it right now. Is we're going to edit, change canvas size, and we're just going to smush this canvas up against this egg. Get this out of the way. So that way when we save it, right, for our assets and stuff, it's just a small... You know, it's the egg size. It's not the freaking, you know, the entire canvas that obviously we're not even using right now, because that doesn't matter. We just want this egg to be saved. But yeah, that's a solid egg. Good job. Always tell yourself you did a good job too. Never be afraid to just give yourself props when you need to give yourself props. Yeah, it's pretty damn close. I mean, I think this might be a little bit skinnier than a normal digi-egg, but semantics. Okay, so we're going to file, export. Probably the best thing to do is do a PNG. So let's go ahead and take the paper off. If you want to do a PNG, which is a transparent background, you take the paper off. And then we will go ahead and file, export, PNG. And then we're going to do that new folder that we did, Digimon assets, and then just do digi-egg line art. I'm telling you, simple shit like this will save you so much time. Like, just think about it. I've been streaming for a half hour right now, so obviously I haven't been drawing for a half hour, but pretty damn close. So a half hour just went into this line art. Now I'll never have to worry about that ever again. So take the half hour, draw the thing, save it as an asset, so that way you will always have it. Always save for quality too, at your scale ratio 100% for illustration purposes. Just make sure you do all that, and then it will give you like a... Let's see here. I have other things like... Jesus. There we go. It'll give you a preview of what it's going to look like. So that's obviously what it's going to look like. And there we go. We have our first Digimon asset. How about that? And then as far as now the canvas size goes, we can go back to edit, change canvas size, and then we can put in, let's see here. 2362. You always see like your resolution at the top here. Okay, you see that up the top? I'm circling it. 2362 by 3496. So we just go back to here. Was it change camera size? 2362 by, what was it? 3426? 3496. That was close. 2362, 3496. Edit. 3496. There we go. So now we're back to our original canvas. And yeah, so let's work on the digi-ag. We're actually gonna make this much bigger. It's always best to work on something much larger because you'll have much more freedom, especially with how big your canvas is. Even if you want to squish this down later for yourself, it doesn't matter. And then of course your finished product, save that as an asset too, because you might want to use that digi-egg or whatever you make. It doesn't matter what you make. You might want to use that asset for something in the future. And so if I like make a cool, like, you know, these maybe I don't know what the hell you call them. Do you call them trainers? I don't think they're called trainers. Destined. A digi-destined, that's what they're called. So I draw a digi-destined, you know, a character, an actual human character, and they're discovering this egg for the first time. Well, I don't want to draw this again, okay? No artist wants to draw stuff over and over again. So I'm just going to copy and paste that egg into a scene where it is discovered. Pretty simple. Now, there may be, of course, instances where you absolutely are going to have to alter your asset, but at the most part, at least you have that line art, because as far as an egg is concerned, I mean, you can do whatever. Like, it's all semantics at this point, so... Okay, so I have an idea of what I want this egg to be. Of course, we're going to sketch this out in blue, and we're going to put that layer. We don't have, we can have a layer wherever. And so the digi-evolution line that I'm thinking about, I want to have basically like one eyeball, but it's like a machine. So I want this egg to kind of have machine type qualities and have the like this center eyeball glowing from it. So we're just going to do one of these numbers. Ooh, that's very light. That is super light. Well, actually, we wouldn't be so light if we actually put the brush size up a little bit. There we go. Let's go to 5. 5 is a good line size. Yes, there we go. All right. I mean, you can move these circles around. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I am kind of just strange that way. There we go. Okay. So essentially that is... I'm going to use a colored pencil. I usually like using a pencil. I just feel like I have more freedom of sketching, and that's kind of what this is, right? It's sketching. So we have this middle eyeball, which is this part's going to be glowing, and I'm going to look at Digimon eyes because, or machine eyes. So I'm going to type that specifically in. Digimon. Spam call. Digimon solid eye. I want to see how they make solid eyes in Digimon. This is actually really good. Ooh, that is a good reference sheet. So we're actually gonna snag that. We definitely might want to look at this because that is perfect. I really was hoping to find something like that, which is Digi Eyeballs, edit, file, import, image, screenshot, bam. And now we have the eyeballs for rookies. So these are all rookie eyeballs. And this is perfect. We definitely want to have that in our arsenal of research. 100. 100, we got to have that. But we're not rookies at this point in time. I might need to actually look up Digimon baby form? Yeah, baby form. Because they tend to have more of the solid eyeball thing going on for the most part. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I like that. That's pretty sweet. Oh my god, cat. Freaking cats. I don't really want this angle, so fresh, that's what they call them. Digimon fresh stage. Fresh stage. But I want the egg to have a fresh stage eyeball. I wonder what that Digimon's name is. Let's see. Botamon is Botamon. Okay. So I'm going to type in Botamon. Botamon. Perfect. Okay. So I like those eyes, but I think I want the... There's just one set of eyes that I've seen it with that I was like, that's the eyeball. All right. Well, anyways, I'm gonna just copy it anyways, or not copy it, but screenshot it. There we go. Because I like that idea for this particular Digimon. So we're gonna file, import image, and that right there. That's what I'm talking about. That solid eyeball, no pupil. That's kind of what I'm looking for in the fresh start digi-evolution. So that's what we're gonna do. So that's what I want right there. And so it basically looks like it has a shine mark and then just one shader. Okay, that's pretty easy. So essentially a shine mark of something like that. Maybe we'd half moon it this way. It's not too shabby, not too shabby. I don't know if we want to... That's not bad either. Because the shine mark is on that half moon side, so that's probably what we'll need to do. Maybe we'll make it a pretty aggressive moon, like that's pretty sweet. I like that a lot. Okay, first let me pull up chat again. And I will, you will have to excuse me because when I'm doing research, I have something else popped up and it's completely over my chat box. So if anybody actually does come in and say something, I might miss you if I'm actually looking into my research stuff. So, but luckily I can bounce between here and there and kind of look at things right now. So, machine-wise, I do now know how Digimon typically do their machines. And I kind of want this maybe split in half kind of thing going on. So essentially there would just be a straight line going down the middle of this. That's a huge brush size. Do we want to do something like that or not? It's a decision-making process for sure. And then as far as like around the egg, since it's more spherical this way, we need to boost up that size. What about there? should be doing this on a separate layer, to be honest with you. So the eyeball, well, Ooh, that's a good idea. Maybe. I don't I don't know. I'm coming up with different ideas as we're talking here. So we can do a oh man. Okay, Jesus. Okay. First things first, symmetrical line. And we're gonna try and hit that right at the top and be as centered as possible. That might be a little off center, I'm not sure just yet. We will know here shortly. And then we're gonna use a straight line tool, because if we're trying to machine this, right, we need to be sure that we are machining on the same and then we'll have a curve. It's interesting. And then we will do kind of the same thing. Now this is kind of a copy paste moment, but it's not at the same time. Okay, so another straight line. Right there. Another curved line. Oop, do that. Okay, so we are actually off. It seems like. That might be a little too deep up there, I'm not sure. Interesting, to say the least. Let's draw a straight line this way. Well, we can't with the symmetrical ruler up, so let's go ahead and disable that. Then we can go across. Just be like... And of course, this would be like... super erased. Oops, not that much. And then same thing with a straight line down. That technically would be exactly how that would look, because there wouldn't be any curvature deviation when we're looking at it straight on. The problem I have, though, is technically the lines... They could say, oh, well, you're making this digi pretty damn complex. That is true. I'm just trying to figure out, like, do I want to go that in depth? Probably not. But that means I don't need the symmetry tool per se. And then we would actually have a curve tool. And then what we probably need to do is double up on that. I don't know how. Let's take a look at I mean, we can literally machine Dramon. Machine Dramon. And see how they make like curvature or like do they leave spaces in the line art? And I don't think so. No, there's no spaces in the line art on Machine Dramon, but again, since we are using this as an example, because this is eventually where we want to kind of end up is this biometric mecha type Digimon. So we are going to import this as research. Research! There is Machine Dramon. Pretty badass Digimon. Absolutely. So, but as we see here, like I was saying, like there is no gaps in the line art per se for these metal lines and curvatures and stuff. So we can stay calm and just understand that we just go ahead and make just a nice straight line. Should be just fine. And as far as that goes, there's really not much else. There are some like I didn't notice they had skull kneecaps. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that seems to be kind of popular, which is make like a little panel and then a straight line from that. So we could make like a panel and then a straight line. Maybe like a curved panel of some sort, because again, this is an egg. And then Thinking. Now this would have to be probably hand drawn. Yeah, this would have to be, because we could. Do we want to do something like that? Nah, I think we're getting too complex. I think this, to keep it simple, stupid, kind of definitely pulls into here. What I was really looking for was like rivets, but it looks like the only rivets that we see here are something like, you know, right there. There, it's actually on the armor itself. It's not along the line art. See, like that's what I was thinking, but no, they don't have that at all. There's just holes here and there located throughout the thing. So if we're gonna keep that kind of mentality, then we would essentially just have like random holes here and there. Oh, little kitty. Which I guess it wouldn't be bad to have like a couple of. Jeez, come on, kitty. You can't be playing, bro. Brah. Yeah, I like that. That adds a little extra depth. Even that one small little circle there. And it doesn't seem to be too often. It definitely looks like it's multi-paneled, so maybe. Or we can actually, let's bring back the symmetry tool. That's pretty sweet, actually. I like that. Just small details, and that's the thing too. Like, as you're doing research and you're seeing how this stuff is constructed, just those small little details, these small little holes. I mean, that's giggity. I mean, that's all that's stepping out, you know. So yeah, I think that'd be fine. Yeah, that's good. So, now we're going to merge these together. If I can click correctly today. Merge selected layers. All right, and then, I mean, we can go ahead and actually just color this black and be done with it. We won't really actually have to do anything special. So let's get the brush size up a little bit. Go to black, lock the layer, and then we can just circle it and just hit fill. There you go. And then all we're looking for now is just anything that's kind of like out of place. Okay. This music slaps, bro. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get more refined on these circles here. Because I just be like that, bro. And of course this shine, this eyeball like this, of course, that's going to be color. That's not going to be line art. It's just like I wanted to map that out so that way I knew what the hell I was doing. So now we're going to create a new layer. We're going to put the opacity down on this a little bit, create a new layer on top of that, and then symmetry layer, of course. Oh man, perfect. Right over top of it. Sometimes that's hard to do. But now we're going to take the ellipse tool, and I don't know what size we're going to actually... Nah, it's too thick. Let's do size 2. Okay. And do we want to move that? Do we need to move that? I don't know if we need to move those or not. I think those are fine. Yeah, those are fine. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. These will probably need to move. Oh my goodness. Take the symmetry thing off. Okay. Now, the cool thing about this is because of how... Delete these, we don't no longer need them. Because of how clear and crisp these are, we can actually do some fun little things with this. So let's boost that opacity back up. There we go. Good stuff. And we can actually make this a little bit more dimensionalized and actually make this look like... There we go. And, you know, make it look like an actual hole. What we might do, though, is get that symmetrical ruler back up here. Tell ya, symmetrical rulers, man. It's the best stuff ever. That'll work. I don't know if these are actually lined up. They might be. We'll check. Well. Yeah, they're not lined up. We can tell they're not lined up. Just fine. They're close enough. That's pretty good. And then as far as, well, as far as how this would actually go, is this would get filled, that would get filled. And then this would get filled. We can just copy and paste this though. We don't need to subject ourselves to all that torture. Just take this right here. Edit, copy, edit, paste. And oops. Damn. Cancel. There we go. Boop. Flip it. Okay. I mean, that is our digi-egg. That is the digi-egg. I mean, we can get more complex if we want to, but I mean, it shouldn't be that way. This is already, I would think, in my personal opinion, much more complex than most digi-eggs. So, okay. What we're going to try and do, we should have done that on a separate layer, which is this eyeball stuff, because one, it's colored pencil, or well, mechanical pencil, not pen. But, you know, this was just supposed to be a roadmap anyways, and understanding how we need to make that eyeball. We'll worry about that later. We just need to get the detailed sections of this done. There we go. Now we can circle and delete. There we go. We know how to make that now. But that is our line art for the egg. I think it's unique enough. So let's go ahead and combine. Well, we might actually spruce this up a bit. I think I'm gonna do a black egg, so I'm gonna, or yeah, pretty much a really dark egg. And maybe in the middle here it's silver or something like that with like a gold ring or a red
Transferring
ring.
credits into WGU was it was a great experience.
We'll figure that
I
out.
went to 6
Let's
or
get rid of this
7,
ad first.
Other universities, and WGU just
Oh
said,
god,
"Here,
we ain't
sit
got,
here,
we
we'll
can't
take
skip
care
it.
of
We
was
can't skip
seamless,
the
and I
ad. Oh
knocked out
no.
almost 3 years worth of credits, and I did it in about 14 months.
Learn more.
Okay. I am confident now to go ahead and just merge all of these. Merge it. So if we're going to make a super dark egg, and then if it's metallic, I don't know if we're gonna, well, this should be fine. We'll still work with this general ideology here, and it should ultimately be okay. Lock that. I'm gonna go a little darker. Not what I wanted. Definitely not what I wanted. Okay. So I'm just looking more so on these curved edges or these curved bits and pieces of machinery and just kind of seeing how they would have shaded them. But I like the idea of keeping it kind of simple like this. This looks really good. It's clean. So. Alright. So. We should be able to, from here. I'm just trying to think of how best they would have done that. And then, of course, they would have went around with a hard eraser, I would believe, or a soft eraser.
You don't want to waste your precious downtime searching. No, with your hectic schedule, your TV time is sacred. Fire TV helps you make the most of it. More time for you time.
Taking something small and kind of hustling until the wheels fall off. That's how we built Kolkata Chai.
There you are.
We had no experience in food or restaurants. It's also New York City where, you're competing with behemoth brands, people that have deep pockets and they're trying to make their idea work. What chance did these brothers have to make their...
Skip. It's kind of the general idea there. And then pretty small. I would say it's pretty small. It's not as big as that. Okay. Looks like it's a little lighter than the base color, but I could be wrong. Best way to check that, so like if this bounce light, this is the question that I have, is this color here the same as this color here? And as we can see, no, it's not. But how much brighter is it than the actual base color? I would say It's significantly brighter. It's not like pure white. We can also check it against this as well. So that's pure white. But this one right here. So this is almost full saturation color, which is pretty crazy. And it doesn't move at all. And then we come down here, and it is pure white. So then we got this one over here. It doesn't change at all. Pretty saturated. And then we come down here, and I mean, they slide it almost all the way to the left. So that being said, if this is where this is here, then we need to go up about right about there and do our major highlights, which it looks like they use a soft airbrush for this as well. Let's do 30. And the thing of it is, it doesn't look like they do it around the entire egg. No, they don't. They definitely don't do it for the entire egg. I will say this this splotch here is definitely a little larger. Not by much, but a little larger.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words, create your brand, your opportunity, your breakthrough. Feeling a vibe?
That'll
Run
work.
with it.
And I don't know, we might do some
Can't look
artistic
away?
liberty too. I mean,
Gotta have it. Make every detail yours. Bring out what's hot. Remove what's not. Crystallize it.
why are we not doing pure white?
Instantly set a tone that speaks in your voice to your audience. Keep moving. Your site grows with you. Add solutions that meet you where you are
It's very
and
strange.
take you where you want to go.
And we shouldn't be
Easy to love.
we shouldn't be not doing pure white. Ah, I see. We had the opacity down, that's why. I was like, what in the hell are we doing here? So let's go ahead and get a new thing started here. Whoa. Not what I wanted. It's definitely more faded. I wonder if they used a glow layer. And then just that looks about right. See here, where would, or how would they have drawn it? Like that? I mean, artistic liberties would be definitely something more like this, which would be kind of interesting. You may think this is crazy to do this, but you'll see what I'm saying. And then we just lower the opacity. And it kind of gives like that more of a metal look type deal. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, we ain't gonna lie about that. That is pretty cool. That's how I draw glow spots. Best viewers, oh my goodness. Block it, baby. You've been blocked. And then what I'll usually do is I'll come back around and follow that curve. And do something like that. Or a lot of times too, I'll just take a wide.
It used to take 5 apps and 3 timeouts to find the game. Now there's no more searching. Fire TV does the work. More time for you time.
And you know, this is kind of thing too, is like, you know, all like this is my art style, and you know, but oh, you're trying to copy Digimon, so why don't you just do it one for one? Hey, you know, it's all an option, right? Everything's an option. Sometimes I like adding like these little artistic liberties because it just makes it that much more unique. And there's plenty of our other artists too that kind of do their own thing with Digimon. So maybe this is my thing, right? I mean, how would you like to, that's the question that presents itself, is how do you want to be known in the community? Do you want to be known as the guy that does a one-for-one copy, or the guy that's done something that is like, or guy, girl, doesn't matter, that you've done something completely unique that someone else like, oh man, this Digimon should have gotten your art style. Like, you just don't know until you actually do it. But yeah, you know, I'm following, you know, suit for the most part, but I'm also putting my own artistic liberties in it. Nothing wrong with that. Somebody out there would be like, sacrilege! Sacrilege! And I can see, you know, their line art. I mean, maybe with the actual machine Dramon itself, because that should be what I have up. The line art might be a little bit more crisp with like card art and stuff like that, and that seems to be the case. But I mean, there's so many artistic liberties, even with seeing different versions of machine Dramon. Like some updates to the design that you see now, and then yeah, I mean, there's just so many artistic liberties with most of the versions of Machine Dramon that I'm looking at, that it's like eating a fucking Reese's Pieces peanut butter cup. There's no wrong way to draw a Digimon or color it. It's just the style, right? Like, that's really what you're trying to get after. What makes a Digimon character? Well, you're seeing it right now. Huge hands, huge feet, big bulky weapons. Basically, everything is bulky. So if we want to create Digimon stuff, we just need to have the right eyes, the right amount of bulk, and these certain shapes like the claws and stuff. Like this claw is Metal Greymon all day, but you know, maybe you don't think about that. And of course, I mean, these are all the same type of feet, the same type of everything. There is a unifying clause to how you create a Digimon. And so these are the things that I have to take into consideration. Like, okay, well, if someone were to look at this, would they say, oh, that looks like a Digimon? Or would they say, interesting custom creation monster you made? Right, that's how you need to make sure, because if you are trying to create a Digimon, the first thought someone has in their head is, ah, that's a Digimon. And if you can create that first thought with someone with what your intention was, you know that you succeeded. Absolutely, not even a question. Yeah, but like I said, these eyes are going to help out a ton. And that's just something too, like they have heavy eyeliner. So that's just something that I'm going to take into consideration, is that heavy eyeline. These little triangles at the ends and stuff like that, that's just something that's part of a rookie as far as that's concerned. Yeah, we got some good references. Very good references. Alright, so now that we got the base of the digi-egg done, I like my little artistic liberty. Again, if you like it, great. If you don't, oh well. Too bad. I like it myself. Now we got to create, essentially taking an idea here, making sure that we are kosher, per se. Yeah, so everything has to be like uniform, it seems like. So this is going to be a uniform like silver interior, and then the eyeball is going to be red. Like a high pink red, machine red. Again, kind of following suit with this right here. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Boop. And again, this is going to be our asset too, so we will use this digi-egg in anything and everything that we do. So let's do a 50-50. 50-50 gray. Now this is going to be interesting because I don't know if Digimon actually do divots like that. Maybe they do. Is there a divot on Machinedramon? This, yeah, so this is, yeah, so the cannons have the divot that I'm going after. Isn't a whole lot else, and when I mean divot, I mean like you can clearly see where like there is an inner ring that sinks down into the machining, and so I really only, that's kind of like that, but that's something else. So really it's these cannons that I'm going to kind of follow the coloring. So if the shine is towards the top, that means the darkest point will be right here. This will be the darkest in the ring, and then over here will be the shine side, which makes sense. You may not think it makes sense, but it does. So the shiniest parts will be right there, and then a mid-grade right there. So shiniest part there, shiny part here, mid-grade here, almost complete black right there. Okay. That'll work. So let's get our we need to fix that because we can see where the line art, we have a pre-emblem there, but it's already looking really good just like that. Let's unlock that layer. And all we have to do is essentially go around like this, hit it, and then use our magic wand. Delete that. And we should have what we are looking for, which is making sure everything is covered. Yep, there we go. And then the mid-grade is here. Charlotte, what is going on? Welcome in. Pleasure to have you in. Thank you so much for coming on in. Just chilling, exactly. That is what we are doing too. We are chilling. We are doing the things. We're making a custom digi-evolution line. And right now I am working on the digi-egg itself. I think we're doing pretty good with the digi-egg. Absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I plan to enjoy the stream, and hopefully you will as well. If you want to talk about anything, doesn't matter if it's art related or not, by all means, I'm here to chat. Chitty chat. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be streaming. Wouldn't be doing it. So let's double check, make sure. By the way, it seemed like a pretty good stream to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hearts. All the hearts. Woo! All the hearts. So I think we've definitely gotten and captured what the inside would essentially be like. Maybe a little extra shine. There you go. pretty sweet. Again, always use references. So just never think where am I from? As far as like country-wise, United States, state Tennessee. How about yourself? I don't think we need to do anything more linear than that. Virginia. I went to Collecticon in Virginia not too long ago. It was a good time. Really good turnout there. Everyone was wonderful. Yeah, I don't really see any reason to add more shine than that. I think that's probably good. Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks for following. Thanks for following. It means a lot. Means a lot. Absolutely. I mean, simply put, I think that's all we need to do there. Now, is there any artistic liberty that we could take with this as well? Well, I mean, we could do kind of the same thing as what we did on the outside of the egg and put it on the inside as well. So we could try this out. This is not something that I might do. But we'll see. So, but we might want to still follow that shine mark. You should get some dope stuff for your channel to attract more followers and viewers. Dope stuff. Yeah, so since I'm fairly new to the scene, right? Like I'm just starting out, just trying to get a little bit of, I guess you could say, dip the toe in the water. So what would you suggest as far as like dope stuff? The dopeness. Boop. And then we're just gonna tone that down. Like a logo banner overlay alert, panels, emotes, intro, outro. Oh, okay. Well, just like the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I mean, I would like to do that. And of course, I would like to probably employ someone from that because that to me is like a little bit beyond my expertise. And unfortunately, I'm not probably really going to be doing much of that or doing, because I would love to. Absolutely. I think you're 100% right, is get that done and started. But I kind of need to make a little bit of money because I want to obviously pay someone to do that. And yeah, so that might be just eventually we might get to that point. Definitely want to do it for sure. Not even a question. Might actually have to decrease the thickness of the brush size there. There we go. And then we'll boost that back up.
Before starting my journey at WGU, I transferred from a community college. It kind of gave me the chance to get my foot on in the door, and I didn't have as many.
Oh my goodness, we got ourselves a little bit of advertisement. That's we can't skip it. Dang, can't skip it. Oh well, it is what it is. It's gone. It's out of here. It's out of here. So the question is, do we want to keep that artistic liberty, or is that a little too much? A little too much. Decisions. Let's go ahead and back out real quick. I can help you out with that. Basically, I'm an artist and do work for streamers and gamers and for their stuff. Can I show you my work? Absolutely. So I should have a link on Twitch to my Instagram. So if you go to my Instagram and send me a DM, just send me a message request with some stuff like that. That would work. That'd be the best way to do it, which would be through Instagram. As I'm on Instagram all the time, so it's... probably the best way to reach out to me. I think overall it does add to it, and it has that continuity of the shine mark. I'm blinking it on and off. So I think, I mean, it could go either way, to be honest with you. I mean, that's a tough call. That's just something that we either do it or we don't. Do we want to boost up the opacity a little bit on that though? Nah. I think barely visible is the way to go with that. Yeah. Barely visible. Good way to go. All right. Now let's do the eyeball. We're gonna do the eyeball. Eyeball, eyeball. So we're already kind of on the... So we're going to do this. Boop. That's not what I wanted. There we go. That's what I wanted. Oh, what an evil egg. Evil egg. I just followed you on Instagram. Can you please give me a follow back? Absolutely. I'm just going to do that right now. Let's go ahead and do that now. Charlotte. There they are. Follow back. Absolutely. Gotcha. You have been followed back. All right. Then we're just going to simply lock this layer. This should be super simple because we are going to do our best to emulate this. There is no other shadows. There's nothing else on the eyeballs of this particular character. So it is literally just a dark shade and then a white highlight. So that is all we need to do with this. Should be stupid simple to do. We are going to make this pretty dark. I mean, I don't know how, let's see how the difference are. Again, this is how you do these type of research is, okay, so I'm sitting here, right? Which is, if we look at my color wheel, which you can't see, I might have to move myself. So if you look at my color wheel, if I go right here and I move it around, there's not a whole lot of color deviation here. And it's sitting almost to like the perfect, if you look at me circling, we are almost to the true color. If we go up to the right, top right corner, that is the true color, the true most saturated color. But then if we go over here, essentially all we've done is just color shifted to a cooler color. So we start off with yellow and we shift over directly. Look at that. It doesn't even barely move. We shift over directly to a color. Now, granted, the movement of the wheel is pretty significant. So if we go back to here, where we are sitting exactly in the same type of realm, like see where I've tried to copy this kind of idea of like, okay, well, this is where they start. That means our color wheel should go like all the way over here. And then, I mean, that's crazy. Like there's no deviation, hardly any deviation whatsoever. That's nuts. I would have expected to see something, but I guess that's just not true. So we're over here. Can't believe it'd be like, man, it seemed like it moved down just a scotch. We'll see how this looks. I don't know. I don't know if this is precisely what we have to do for that. Okay. That actually turned out not as bad as what I thought it would. And then essentially all we got is a pure white. So we got like a half circle going downwards, so it should be something like this maybe. I think it actually touches. Yeah, oh man, it leaves like the smallest scotch of a line. Nope, it needs to be even. We need to get like in there. I don't know if we can use. No, that's not good. We might have to use the ellipse tool for this, but just, you know, just feeling out the lasso today. You know, we don't give the lasso enough love. I feel, man, I just have this feeling like it just needs to be more, like, it needs to be like, yes, that's more like what I was looking for. Let's use the ellipse tool and just use the fill. Because then we can actually just move it around how we want. Whoa, okay. First and foremost, we need to do this on a separate layer. Do this on a lock layer. Something around this size here. And then now we can start playing with this and figuring out where best this would fit.
It all starts in January when Christmas-loving designers dream up an incredible world. Huge ice blocks begin freezing in June, and in September, 2 million pounds of ice move across the country. In October, artisans arrive from Harbin, China, and with their expert skills start to chip, chisel, and saw. In November,
China! China! But yeah, I think that's pretty decent. I mean, that's very anime, like, shine marked stuff. And then, of course, there's no shading in this whatsoever. And most of the Digimon eyes are like that as well. It's just a solid color. And just have some shine mark overlays. And that's pretty much it. Now, this one has some different artistic liberty where it definitely looks like they used a soft airbrush with glow effect on that. But for the most part, they actually look like... this one's actually hand-drawn. Like, they drew an outline and then just put white in the middle of it. But that seems to be the general census here. There's a double shine mark. Yeah, so we have to have a double shine mark and then a solid color. And then we can figure out the color scales from there. Alright. Man, it's a pretty mean looking digi-egg. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, I need to put myself back. I'm done explaining things. Put myself back over here. But yeah, that's a pretty nasty looking digi-egg. Like, if I ran across that, I'd be like, do not touch that digi-egg. That is clearly a virus type all day. Of which, of course, that is what we're going to be doing, is a machine virus type. Do we need to add anything else? I don't think so. I mean, this is where you really got to keep into your head as an artist. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't do stuff that is going to just be wild. I mean, this is, of course, at the end of the day, a digi-egg. But it is quite the unique digi-egg. I don't think there's a digi-egg like it. And that's the point, right? We are creating custom characters. This isn't supposed to be something that exists, and if it does, I don't know about it. Okay, there's a lot of Digimon stuff out there, so it's not going to be impossible where we kind of overlap with ideas. But, you know, this is the point of being a character design artist and concept maker, is You want to get that idea out. You want to be able to, again, anybody that comes in here should be able to look at that and be like, is that a digi-egg? That's what I want you to think. I don't want to have to tell you that. I want you to see it and you be like, yeah, that's clearly a Digimon egg. And then I want you to question and say, hey, what Digimon is this? Because you might want to look it up. Well, it doesn't exist. It's the first one. It's the first one. I think it's pretty cool. Again, you know, taking on notes from these, obviously we went in a way different direction, but we kept that same kind of theming, which is, you know, it's essentially like an Easter egg of some sort, but definitely a little bit more sinister, more machine. I think we definitely nailed it. I have sent you my work. Please have a look on Instagram. Fantastic. When I get done with the stream today, I will, by all means, I'm going to go and look into the messages and look through your work and things like that. And then there you go. Absolutely. Absolutely, totally. So essentially, we've created our first Digi asset. So I'm going to go ahead and just collapse all of this down. I don't really need to keep these layers separated for much other reason, because I can recolor things as I need to. And we have, well, actually, as I'm thinking about things, I need to save the line art first, then save the color on top of that. And the reason being is because as I'm talking to myself, I'm actually reaffirming the thought process. Maybe I need to color this a different way because maybe the light is in a different spot on this egg. And so I need to be able to shift these patterns and stuff around. And if I save it just like it is right now, that's going to be a ton of work. Way more work than what any one person needs to be doing. So we are going to save these colors though into one layer. Yeah, it's just the line art itself that I got to save, which is layer 3. Merge selected layers, and there, so there you go. Got the color off, color on. There you go. So first foremost, let's go ahead and resize this canvas. That way when we save this, it is simply just the egg that we are saving and not an entire canvas that we do not need. We don't need all that space. Okay. And then we're gonna make it transparent because we want to be able to color in it. If we do not take that paper off, then you are going to have a white background. I'm not saying that that's going to be a problem, but you're going to have to get rid of the square parts, right? You can color the inside of the egg all you want, but if you're going to place it inside of your artwork somewhere, these corners on this canvas are going to poke up and you're like, ah, shit. Now I got to erase all of that. So just make a PNG file of your line arts. You're going to thank yourself later for doing so. Export PNG. We're already in our Digimon assets folder, so this is custom digi-egg 1 line art. Oops, turning my keyboard off. Line art. Always be creating assets. Always create assets. And then now we're gonna have our colored version. Again, keep it PNG, because again, if we want to put this digi-egg somewhere and like maybe we make a comic strip of some sort, or really big, you know, illustration, and the digi-egg's in the middle, and then we work with the other evolutions that we're going to create. I don't want to have to, again, delete the corners off of the canvas or do more work than I have to. PNGs. Your assets, all of your assets should be a PNG file. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Export, single layer, PNG, custom Digimon, digi... 1 line art, custom digi egg 1 color. I need to rename this one. Digi egg 1 line art, digi egg line art. And then
sure, here's
digi
a version of your CV that will help you stand out.
Egg
Just like the
one
other 30,000 I created today.
color.
Good luck.
Work with Fiverr resume.
We're gonna rename this one as well. Digi-egg 1 line art. This is.
Hire an expert today and get hired. Fiverr.
We're gonna take the 1 off because this is just a digi-egg. So I'm trying to keep the name simple as well. So custom digi-egg line art. So every single digi-egg will use the same line art. Digi-egg 1 line art is this particular digi-egg's line art, and then digi-egg 1 color oh my goodness, digi bork bork. Okay. Definitely double triple check all of your stuff there. Okay, go ahead, save that. Fantastic, good stuff. Ooh, I see a mistake. Okay, before we actually finalize that, let's fix that mistake. Didn't even notice that. It's fine, it's an easy fix. Well, I say easy fix, but we do have to be. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you'll catch a mistake and you didn't even realize it. Okay. Or that you realize that you made the mistake in the first place. There you go. Cool. Perfect. Okay. Now. PNG. Digi-egg 1 color. Alright, save. Okay. Perfect. Good stuff. We have the first thing. It's only taken us almost 2 hours. 2 hours for a digi-egg. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Alright. Let's see, we got 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Do we want to work on a rookie at this point in time? Boy. Well, you know what? I think as far as streaming purposes, this is a lot of information for anybody that wants to actually learn a little bit about something about character design research and so on and so forth. That you can make your own custom digi-egg. Hopefully that might be something you want to take part in. And or if not, and you are just making your own characters and designs and stuff, that you've learned something out of this stream that you can now apply it to whatever it may be, and creating your own assets. Create an asset folder, make sure you name everything correctly. That maybe you kind of follow my idea of how to do things. Obviously it might not be the best way for you, but exporting your assets in a PNG file and saving all of that for later use. And so yes, I think we are good. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's go ahead and file and save as, because we haven't actually saved this. Custom digi-egg 1. And we're going to save this as a JPEG because this is essentially the finished artwork. So this is completely fine. Well, this is going to be saved. Just the project itself is going to be saved. Now we can export it anytime we want. Now this right here, we want to save this as well. Save as, digi assets, digi research 1, that is correct. It's all fine. And we want all the space because we might add more examples of things as we go on. Good stuff, good stuff. Yep, save everything, save it all in the relevant folders. Keep it in the same folder. Put folders inside folders, inside folders, inside folders. So long as everything that you're doing is within the same folder, you'll be able to find and organize yourself much better instead of just having it spread all over who knows where. But yeah, hey, I think that concludes a good solid 2-hour stream. I think this a lot of information, and I think we were very successful in creating our very first part of our digi-evolution line. And I am going to be working on a rookie, but I'm going to do it off stream. That's going to require much more focus for me than this. And I love all of you. I do. okay? But sometimes I can get distracted, and if I do get people talking to me, it's going to just take that much longer for me to develop something that's going to require a little bit more thought process. So obviously I'll do more live stream stuff and, you know, show those progress reports, and maybe, you know, during those final steps of either the line art or the coloring, you know, that's when I'll have a live stream, because there's not going to be any pressure for me to, you know, make sure my mind is in the game on top of paying attention. That's just the nature of the beast when it comes to streaming. But either way, I'll digress from all that to say this. This is Zipsaw with Zipsaw's Art. Thank you so much for everybody who came in. Charlotte, thank you for coming on in. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Obviously, anybody else, whether that be YouTube or Twitch, never be afraid to come on in and chat to me. I'm always up for a good conversation. But you all have yourselves a good rest of your day. Doodles.